Hello and welcome to the sixth question of the Leetcode problem. Till now we have solved 5 questions, and all these 5 questions were interesting. Some were easy, some were medium, some were hard. These problem statements come into category of medium, and it's a string problem called as zigzag conversion. Okay, so we're going to take a look at how this problem works out, how the question has an input, and what answer do we get. And we're not going to understand this first, and then only we are going to fall into solving this problem. So the problem statement says that the string PayPal is hiring, okay, is written in a zigzag pattern on a given number of rows, like this. Okay, like this zigzag pattern. So it is like PAY is this line, then we have this diagonal YPA, then we have ALI, then we have SHIRIN and G. Let us finish. So we stop here. So this is a zigzag, okay? As you know what is a zigzag pattern. But this is like this, a horizontal, okay? This is a horizontal. Starts from pre, go to Y, then AIHRN G. So we stop at G because G is the last letter of this string. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to make a zigzag pattern first. Okay, now making doesn't always means we have to draw that zigzag pattern on our console. Okay, we have to make it on a book, on a paper, or somewhere on a file, on a drawing. Okay, if we take something like paint online and we go to this JS paint, and what we want to do is we want to draw zigzag lines. Okay, where here we have P, then A, then Y, then we have, sorry, here we have between P, A, Y. Actually, in our case, it starts like this, P, A, Y, like this, P, A, Y. Then in center we have P, then we have A, then we have PAP, PAL is, it goes like this, PayPal I, then we have is S, hiring like this H. I'm sorry for this, but I don't have a digital pen to draw here. So I want to show you how the zigzag pattern goes in our case. It goes like this. Starts from up and goes in a zigzag manner. So it goes start from up, goes in a zigzag manner. Okay. So this is how our string we are going to map. Okay. We are going to make this pattern. So it doesn't necessarily mean we should make a pattern on a console, but we are making a pattern here for our understanding and what the output really needs to be. Okay, so they say then then read the line by line. So we have PAHN, then we have APLSIIG, and YIR. Okay, so what you have to do is we have to write the code that will take a string. Okay, PayPal is hiring, and make the conversion given a number of rows. So consider we are given number of rows 3 in this case. So we have to make zigzag lines for 3 number of rows. PAY, PALISHIR. So the number of rows will be 3. In this case, it is number of rows is 3. So we got this as PAHN, then APLSIIG, then APLSIIG, then here YIR. Okay, so this is how our output will be. It looks very it looks very, tricky at first, that how are we going to solve this, and it's very difficult, and how are we going to even write this? Okay, once we understand what this pattern does, how this pattern works, if we get some numbers by which we can understand this pattern, by which we can uh, you know write down uh, some points which will help us in our data structures, can help us to find out which lines correspond to which letters, and then we can find out those and concatenate and print them. Okay, consider like which lines are on, which letters are on first row, which letters are on second row, which letters are third. We can check the same string for different number of rows, and then we'll get to know how this is working. Okay, so we need to find out a pattern in every sum. Okay, in every question we may have to find out a pattern. So if we don't know anything, we'll just see the solved problem. Like if this is happening like this, how will the other thing happen? How will it happen for number of rows of 3? How will it happen on number of rows 4, and so on? Okay, I was literally first confused on how to do this, but when I got a hint of how we can how we can check if the number of how we can check if the string the characters are on certain number of rows, what characters are on certain number of rows, and what numbers is this correspond to. Okay, I will need a draw.io. Okay, I will try to solve this. I will try to write here. Okay, we'll take a text. We'll have PayPal is hiring. Okay, and we will increase the text size to 40. Okay, what I'm trying to say is we have to check in what but we'll take a text, same 40 pixels. Okay, and we're going to write 1. I think this is a very hard thing to understand from draw.io. I would like to explain it here itself. Okay, PayPal is hiring. Okay, so in this case, okay, P is at first row, A is at second row, Y is at third row, then this P is at second row, A is at first row, L is at second row, I is at third row, then second, then first, then second, then third, then second, then first, then second. Okay, this was for number of rows 3. Okay, let's take an example for number of rows 2, where it will be P A Y P A L I S sorry, H I R I N G. Okay, in this case, how does our this string goes? Let's see. It goes like 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, and one more. Let's take one more case of this where we have 4 strings. So how does this goes here is we have P on first, and we have second, A on second, y on third, then fourth, then 3, then 2, then 1, 2, then 3, then fourth row, then r is on third row, then I is on second, then n is on 1, g is on second row. So I found that in this we have a very one common thing which I don't know if you recognized it, but I did. That we start, we have the number of rows. The minimum value is 1, the maximum value is number of rows in all of this single value numbers. Okay, and we start from, definitely it will be because we were checking on which the which letter was on which row. Okay, so if you check a pattern on this numbers, you'll find out that each letter correspond to each row. Okay, and with that we can see how these numbers are moving. Okay, so you see 1 2 3, it was incrementing from 1 2 and 3, then it started decrementing to 1, then again it started incrementing to 3, then started decrementing to 1, then started incrementing to 3, then started decrementing to 1. Are you getting it? In case of 4 number of rows, you see here we have 1 2 3 4, then started decrementing 3 2 1. It's obvious that it will start decrementing because we start from row number 1, go to row number 4, then we start from, then we decrease the number of rows and come to top, right? We go from 4 to 3, then 2, then 1, then again we go to the bottom. That's how we increment the rows, and we go to the bottom, then we decrement the rows, come to the top, then increment the rows to bottom. So this whole thing will help us to solve this problem where we know which letter can come at which row, and with that we can find out which letter we can take letter from a certain rows, and we can concatenate them like this one, this one. Okay, so before writing code here, I will like to write my code in this editor. Okay, I have already made a file for this called as Zigzag conversion. Okay, and in here I will like to write out a for loop which will help me go through the length of the array, and I will then I can store, so I can store the row. Okay, I can store the row number of each character they are on. So consider P is on 1, so I will store 1 with corresponding to P. Then A is at 2, I will store 2 corresponding to A. Then Y is at 3, so I will store its row corresponding to Y. Then 4 and so on. Okay, let's see how we can do that. So to store that I need a row map. I need a map. Okay, let's name it as a row map, an empty object. But if you remember how objects work is, if you try to access a value which is already there, we will replace the value will be replaced. Okay, so if a P is already there, again, instead of storing P1 here, if we already stored P1 here, okay, as P is on first row, we store P is equal to 1, and again if we go to fourth row and we try to store P is equal to 4, the P will be overwritten. Okay, the value of P will be overwritten. In that case, instead of storing only the value, okay, I think we cannot store the key as our string, the character. Okay, so we can store the index because index is only unique. Okay, and index is unique, and we are going to iterate through all the characters for that string. So we'll keep row map as I, that is the index, the key as the index. Okay, and definitely we also need the row on which our character is, so we can call it index row, or we can call it row at whichever character is. So it will be at we'll decide what it will be at, because we haven't calculated that yet. But if we see, we will have our character s of I, and we'll call it char. Okay, for now. So this is very interesting now. What are we going to store uh, the row number? Okay, because we don't have anything by which we can store the row number as, we cannot store it as I. If you store it as I, it will be uh, storing our it will be storing I will it will storing the index of all the characters, and we want this to go till only the number of rows length, that is 1 2 3 4, and then come back to 4 3 sorry 4 3 2 1, then go to 4, then come back to 1, okay, till the end of the array. So how can we do that? There is one way. We'll definitely come to that, but I will just try to return the row map and show you what happens here. I will console log the convert function, where I will pass a string and number of rows, that is 3. Okay, for now we will pass 3 itself. I will run this function, and I can see that I have wrong number of rows, that is 0 1 2 3 4. I have the indexes. What we want to do is we want to start from 1. Okay, for the rows we want to start from 1. Let's define here as let row index is equal to 1, because we want to start from 1. So we can call here row index. We have to start from 1, but we have to stop at 4. Okay, because we have only 4 rows. So we can have a if condition here, that if the row index is greater than num rows, then let's reinitialize it to 1. Is it? Then we can say row index is equal to 1. But we don't want to make it 1. We actually want to decrement it, right? If we go from 1 2 3 4, we want to come back to 3 2 and 1. Okay, then again 2 3 4. So we kind of want to reset it. Okay, and we come to 1. Okay, and we want to decrement it when we come at the nums row. Okay, that means if the row index is trying to be greater than num rows, but we are not incrementing or decrementing the rows index yet. Okay, let's make it dependent on a flag. Okay, because I think that's the only way we can, and that's the way I am seeing here, by which we can increment or decrement our row index. Okay, so first of all we will keep our flag reverse, okay, as false. So we will keep on incrementing it. Okay, we'll keep on incrementing row index, because our reverse flag is true. Reverse flag is false. We'll keep on incrementing, but if it is true, we will keep on decrementing. Okay, so reverse flag will be, now we need to manipulate our reverse flag, okay, accordingly. So if it goes ahead of num rows, means if it is go ahead of 4, we will make our row index as 4. Okay, so num rows, that is 4, and then we can make our reverse as true. So now we came till here, PAYP, num rows is 4, so we incremented num rows, so num rows is now 4. Okay, and now it becomes 5 here. After that, actually we need to call this earlier here. After we increment, then we check, okay, and initialize our indexes. First we initialize row map index. The first we initialize the index to be this values, the row index, and plus or minus depending upon the number of row we are. If we are ahead of 4, then we will make our row index initialize to 4. Okay, and then we will decrement our row index after that. Okay, and we'll also check a condition. If row index is equal to 1, in that case we need to mark our reverse flag as false, because we want to now increment, because we came 3 to 1. Now if we are at 1, we start incrementing again, 2 3 4, then again decrementing. So this reverse flag true and false are making our index increment or decrement. Okay, so this is how we are going to increment and decrement our rows, and we are going to store the characters at each particular row. Okay, let's run this and see what we are getting here. So we are getting 1 2 3, and after that we have again 3 2 1, which is wrong, because we are using 3 number of rows. So case will be this. So 1 2 3, then 2 1, then 2 3, then 2 1. So I think here we are again starting at 3. The case is this. So as soon as we increment row index to 3. Okay, so this is a post operator. Okay, in which what happens, it applies 3 here and then increments. So it checks here that row index is 4. So now it is greater than 3, that is row index is 4. So we assign 3 to row index again, but we should decrement and assign it here. Okay, because we are already one step ahead. So that will give us 1 2 3 2 1 2 3 2 1 2 3 2 1 2. Okay, that's perfect. And that is how our rows are corresponding to each character. At 1 we have P, at 2 we have A, at 3 we have Y, then again at 2 we have P. So the rows are corresponding perfectly to each and every character. Now what happens is, now we have this object in which each object correspond to each row and each character. Now we'll convert this to array, just to make sure we can apply some filtering and mapping on those array methods and find out which rows are equivalent to 1. We will take them. Then which rows are equivalent to 2, we will concatenate them, and which are equivalent to 3, we will concatenate them. So it looks very easy for now. So let's have a for loop where we have another variable j. We'll run it for 1 2 3. Okay, because we want to iterate over 1 2 3 1 2 3, because we have that minimum and maximum rows on our zigzag pattern, and that's how we are going to iterate over it. And we are also going to, in the same place, we are going to find out which are 1, then which are 2, then which are 3. That's it, and we are going to concatenate them. So I will find out the indexes which are equal to 1 first. Okay, so I will call here filtered indexes is equal to First we need to convert that object to array. That's we can do by this is key and this is an value. So we call object.values to get the values of that object, and we call row map. Okay, now we get array. Now simply we can, just a second, let me drink some water. Okay, so we got the array. Now simply you can filter this by a filter method of an array, where we have each row. In that row we can call it yes, each object. Okay, in which each object dot row is equal to this one, that is j. Then we got the filtered indexes. I mean, we got this object, then this object. Okay, and what we need is character. We need each character of that row, one row. Okay, so we need one string called as answer. Maybe let answer, let, or we can call it let converted string is equal to empty. We take this converted string and we can, now we can run a map function on this filter indexes. This is dot map. Here also we have this object, so we'll call it object, and in here we will assign, we will concatenate this converted string, the characters of this object of the matched rows to the character of that rows. Okay, and simply we will get the converted string. So we get the converted string. Let's just console log what we're getting. Yeah, we're getting PAHNA, PAHNA, PLSIIGYR, correct. So this is what we get, and I think we have solved the issue. Okay, let's copy this same code into our Leetcode. Okay, so I like this way when we solve it first somewhere else. Like developer tools is the best place to solve it. Well, we have everything in hand, starting from debugger to console and everything. Okay, so we can check there, and we can now run our code. So the test cases will pass, if I'm not wrong, because it already gave us our answer for this case. So there are 3 test cases only here for 4 number of rows, for 2 and 3, for 2 and for 3 and 4. Let's submit it now and let's see what we get. Okay, so we got a few number of test case failing, and we can see why here, because if we have 2 strings, there won't be a zigzag pattern for 2 strings. Okay, because number of rows is 1, and in that case we will have A and B, and the output will be also A and B. Okay, so in if any case there will be a case where if number of rows is equal to 1, okay, and s dot length is not equal to our converted string. In that case, we know what we are missing that case, and we'll simply return s here. Okay, let me check what happens here. Yeah, definitely pass the test case. See, I know this this takes a lot of time, 180 milliseconds. Okay, and but the name approach is like this, and we can solve it more efficiently. Okay, soon we are going to start the playlist for solving the efficient problems, starting from the problem 1. Okay, and we are at now problem 6. Soon we'll be reaching problems 10, and once we reach 10 problems, we'll start for the efficient playlist. Okay, that will be a better approach, because if we until we reach 10 problems, we'll also have a good uh, backlog for our previous problems to solve efficiently. Okay, with learning some new algorithms. Okay, here we didn't learn any algorithms, and I even don't want to check other solutions people have solved. Okay, I want to keep this new as possible and try to understand myself and you also, guys, in a better way by solving it yourself and by looking at others code, other how others solve the problem. Okay, that is a better way of learning, by looking at others mistake. So that's it for today, and we'll soon meet in our next video. Till then, have a good day, good night, and we'll meet soon in our next video for the 7th question. Bye bye.